Rejoice and be glad in it. I am Kristen Lewis, Prophetess Chris. Some people call me. Some people call me Coach Chris. Whatever the less, one and the same. Kristen Lewis is who I am from Philly. Philly. Period. All right. And I wanted to bring to you this prophetic word because I had a dream. I want to say maybe a week or two ago. I would have to refer back to some other places where I had posted some information about my dream. And so basically, in the dream, I didn't know what area I was in, but I know I was in an urban like setting, an urban city. Apparently, we were going to do an investigation, me and some colleagues. There was a colleague that was in a car out. She stayed outside in the car and had another colleague that was with me. Interestingly enough, it was Taraji P. Henson, who was my other colleague in the dream. She went ahead of me to speak to the foster parents. There was a gentleman in a wheelchair, Caucasian gentleman in a wheelchair, and he had a wife who was African American. And so we went to go do a wellness check on the children that were in the home. Taraji went up ahead of me. She took a really long time. I couldn't hear her anymore. I could hear her voice with the foster parent initially, and then it had faded, so I couldn't hear her. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Let's just check around. Let's just see what's going on. So as I went upstairs, I saw a young lady that was a foster child in the hallway. Her bed was directly next to the banister. So you know how some elders would say people such and such was hanging from the rafters and all this and that. So that was interesting because they literally, when I say beds were everywhere, there was a bunk bed in the hallway close to the wall. This little girl's bed was right next to the railing, which was a safety hazard. If she would have rolled over, she would have fell over the railing if she would have rolled off that bed because of how high the bed was up. And then I remember looking off to the side, and there was like a gymnasium that I could see, though I was inside of a row home. And I remember prior to going up the steps, one minute the gentleman was in the wheelchair. He let me up because the wife had already led the other worker up the steps, right, to do the wellness check and to do this check on the home. Um, but I couldn't find the wife anymore. I couldn't find Taraji. And so I remember one minute the gentleman was in the wheelchair, and the next minute he put his prosthetics. I turned and I looked and I saw he had went into the room and he put prosthetics on, and he had really good upper body strength, really strong strength. He walked up the steps behind me, and it was something really disgusting. He had on sweat shorts, like a gray shorts, like it looked like sweatpants, but like I said, they were shorts, thin material. He tried to brush up against me, and I could feel like his private, because like he brushed up against me, like, and I heard him like move to the side, like jumped, and like, because he said after you. And so I remember hurrying and moving to the side, and I said, well, how do I get to these other children? Because I could see a large amount of youth. A lot of them looked to be disheveled, and as if they were special needs. They were sitting in chairs in this area that looked to be like a gymnasium. And so, good to see everybody that joins. And so, needless to say, I was very concerned because I wanted to check on those children that I saw sitting in chairs that were unable to be truly entertained or allow their gross motor skills to be used because they were just sitting in chairs. And so I remember getting a check in my spirit, because when I asked the foster parent, how do I get over there? And he says, oh, we just have to go up another level. Now, we were already on the second level, and we were attempting to go up to the third level. But I got a check in my spirit for me to turn around. I said, okay, well, I got to grab something. And he said, well, where are you going? Where are you going? And I hurried up and I ran down the steps and I ran out. So I gave a prophetic word, and I told people on Facebook, if you are in that industry, if you are a foster care and or kinship care social worker, and you're going out to homes in this hour, you do not need to go alone. So to put icing on the cake, there were some other parts to the dream that I'm not going to share at this time. But to put icing on the cake, I mentioned this, like I said, this was on Facebook where I initially posted it. A friend of mine does work in the social services industry. And happy birthday to whoever's coming on. God bless you. Right now, we're talking about something, a warning. So if you're in the foster care industry, or you know someone who's in that social service field, I should say, you may want to share this video to them, because we want to keep people safe. So I had the person that's a friend of mine that's over in Texas, and apparently there has been a situation. She's not quite sure of what that situation was, but she does know that an email went out just yesterday by her supervisor that stated from now on, when they go out into these foster care, kinship care homes, these are not just birth families, to check on the families to see if they could be reunified. These are actual foster care, kinship care homes. When they go out to do these home safety checks and these evaluations, they are to have their panic buttons on. Yes, correct. They will be issuing panic buttons to all the foster care and kinship care social workers at this particular agency in a state, in a city that's located in Texas. Apparently, there has been an issue. I gave a warning. I let people know the house that the Lord took me in and showed me in my dream, it was a house of horror, so to speak, where the children were being mistreated and foster care workers were going into the home and not leaving out. And these are people that's supposed to be in their right frame of mind, being able to take care of vulnerable citizens, these children that are in care, and things weren't going, if things didn't go the foster parents' way or whatever the case, they were torturing children and torturing workers. I want you to take this word back to the Lord. I want you to be cautious. And that's about it. I send my love to you all. I pray that God protect you and keep you, that you lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, you truly acknowledge Elohim, El Shaddai, Ancient of Days, Jesus Christ, the true and risen Savior, to be a protector and keeper of your soul and of your life, because this is not a game. Warning comes before the destruction. We've been warned. If you're in the social services field, do not go into foster care, kinship care homes alone if you can help it. Or if you have a panic button, you're probably good. Make sure you're keeping those calendars up to date so people can, your supervisors, admin for your agency can know where you are, where you're supposed to be. So if they don't hear from you, they know how to properly get to you. Possibly have a code word that you can use between you and colleagues, you and your family members. So if you're in danger, they know that you're in danger and that they can send help for you. Yeah. So that's it. I pray you're well. I pray you're blessed. I pray that you use the wisdom that the good Lord is giving you and has given you. And you take care. Y'all be blessed. All right. Peace.